I have a second channel, Cube Compium TDX.
Hey everybody, so I'm over in the new place right now. No, I'm not done with it yet, not moved in yet. That's going to be a little bit. I just walked over here because the lighting over here is so much better than my old bedroom in my parents' place. So I'm going to talk about Windows 11 today. So Windows 11 was released. Today is October 5th, 2021. That's the day I'm shooting this video. So Microsoft has released the latest build of Windows 11 to the public. I'm thinking now you can download it through the same methods you could get Windows 10 from, the media creation tool, as well as through some Windows Update channels. I think that's staggered. So yeah, unfortunately, due to the current circumstances, I haven't really been able to get hands-on and test Windows 11 on my unsupported hardware. Yeah, Mid-Tower is not even supported thanks to it not being Ryzen 2000 or later. But I'll talk about that a little bit in here in the video. So, a little while back, I shot a video in this room. It's sweltering heat. It was like 90 degrees in here plus because I didn't have power or air conditioning, which I do have power and air now. So in that video, I talked about how I think Windows 11 could be the new Vista, the new Windows Vista. And to be honest, I can't really say for sure if it's going to be the new Vista, but I'm still pretty firm on my thoughts. I mean, I'll come back and watch this video in a year and see if I'm right or not. But here are some things about Windows 11 I think, again, could make it the new Vista. Number one, the ridiculously high requirements for your computer's hardware. Windows 11 requires either an 8th gen Intel Core CPU or equivalent, or an AMD Ryzen 2000 series or equivalent or later. So, I mean, the basic requirements are not that bad. I can't remember off the top of my head. I had to look them up. But of course, I mean, Noriko as well. The basic requirements, I think, was like 4 gigs of RAM, dual-core CPU. Forget exactly what the storage number was, like 64 gigabytes. I don't know. But the base numbers, the base specification numbers, DirectX 12 GPU, I think, the base numbers are really not that bad. They baseline for Windows 11 support. But the key thing is the CPU requirement, again, Intel Core HGen series or later, or AMD Ryzen 2000 series or later CPUs. And also the TPM 2.0 requirement, not the older version of TPM. So that's a pretty high line to set as a minimum baseline for Windows 11. And see, the thing is, I mean, a lot of computers out there that are nice and powerful that could easily run Windows 11 are cut off from being compatible thanks to these high-end, these super high security requirements. I mean, they come with security requirements. So I've been reading about it. I mean, that's basically what I could do is just read around about Windows 11. And, I mean, it seems like a nice OS. I mean, it's a lot like Windows 10 really was. Now, you think about it, Windows 10, even though Windows 10, in my opinion, will never be the equivalent of Windows 7, it was like Windows 7 in a way. It was Microsoft's answer to Windows, the disaster that was Windows 8 and 8.1. 8.1 is a little better, but Windows 8, the original Windows 8, the 2012 Windows 8, that was a disaster. So Windows 10 was really Microsoft's answer to Windows 8, Windows 8.1. And after some fine tuning, I mean, I got some videos up on the channel from years back when Windows 10 was first released. Did some fine tuning with it. You can make it into a decent operating system. Of course, I mean, now the thing about Windows 10 I don't like is the force updates, among other couple little things here and there. But Windows 10, I mean, overall, Windows 10 really is not that bad an OS. It's kind of like the Windows 7 of today or the Windows XP of today. It was, Windows XP was really the answer to Windows ME. Windows 7 was the answer to Windows Vista, and Windows 10 was the answer to Windows 8. So now we have Windows 11, which is kind of doing some things that Vista did. Vista, when it was released, had pretty high requirements for your computer's hardware, which back in 2006, 2007, 2007 was when it went public. Computers were, getting a computer with 4 gigs of RAM was not the minimum requirements, but it was what you needed for Vista to run decent. 4 gigs of RAM, a decent, at least dual core CPU. Solid state drives weren't really much of a thing then. It was pretty much hard drives, or running hard drives in RAID. That's what I would have done back then. Back then, those were pretty stout requirements, but I think the thing about Vista that really messed it up was the shoddy driver support off the gate. Driver support for Vista was not that great at the beginning, and also Microsoft deeming pretty low-end computers as Vista ready or Vista capable, but meaning they could barely run Vista and it wouldn't be a really good experience. Now, Windows 11 is kind of repeating that, except for the high-end security, the high-end security requirements, the TPM 2.0. Or the Intel 8th Gen CPU requirement, or AMD Ryzen 2000 requirement. Of course, those are. It's that these components haven't been out for all that long. 3-4 years about. The computer, the laptop I have at work is a Dell Inspiron gaming laptop. It's got a 7th Gen Core i7 in it, and it's a really nice laptop, and it could easily run Windows 11, but because it's not an 8th Gen Intel Core, it's deemed as not compatible. So yeah, you get that. Rudimentary Lux, my system, has a Ryzen 7 1700X. No, not a Ryzen. Not a Ryzen 2000 series. Now the Black Max, my parents' computer, has a Ryzen 5 2400G, and I believe their computer is in fact Windows 11 compatible. I'll have to go through and look for sure, but I think their machine is Windows 11 ready to go. Mentor Lux? Nope. I would at least have to upgrade the CPU in it. But I'm finding there are ways to get around these requirements. Now you could clean install the OS, and you will get this prompt at the out-of-box experience that tells you that by installing this software, we're not going to be responsible for any issues that happen to your computer. And basically trying to say that your manufacturer's warranties, I think, going to be void or whatever. I can't remember for sure. I look at the actual wording, but they tell you you're on your own, and we're not going to give you security updates. So now I'm hearing there are ways. Now I'm not going to really talk about that too much here on this video, but there are ways that you can modify the installer to make the installer think, you're installing Windows 10, but it installs Windows 11 and it boots into Windows 11. There are ways to bypass the secure boot requirement. Oh yeah, the secure boot is required as well. There are ways to bypass the TPM requirement. I think ways to bypass checking to see if your CPU is on the support list. There are ways around it, and there may be ways around. The supposed block of updates. I don't know for sure. It would be crazy of Microsoft to not at least provide security updates. But then again, the way Windows 10 works is after a year and a half. The given build of Windows 10 is no longer supported, and you have to upgrade to a new build to keep getting updates. And I can almost assure you that there are a lot of Windows 10 computers out there that are not running anything near the latest build of Windows 10. I'm sure there are probably still some computers out there running Windows 10 1507, 1511, 1607, 1703. Older builds like that still running along, and I did a video earlier this year before I started this project. I did a video comparing performance of the various some of the various Windows 10 builds from I think 1507 up through 20H2, at least I think 20H2, and there was quite a difference in performance from the old Windows 10 to the current Windows 10. Now the thing about Windows 11 is I think Windows 11 is going to have a similar model of updates. Not certain on that. I have to really look into that. But so just think about this: when Windows 10 was coming out. Now I'm not sure if Microsoft has taken ever took a hard stance on this statement, but it was said back in 2015, I believe, that Windows 10 was the final version of Windows. Yeah, Windows 10 was it. I mean, Windows 10 was the new Windows. It was a Windows as a service platform or software. It was based as a service model. You continuously get updates and new builds and new features with time, kind of like Office 365. I think that's a good example. But so, and then of course COVID-19 came, and then lots of people started working from home. A lot of people were working from home due to COVID-19 restrictions, and that really gave Windows computers a boost. And then Microsoft thought, should we consider Windows 10 the last version of Windows? Maybe not. Maybe we'll come out with a new version of Windows called Windows 11 and set the hardware requirements so high that all this older technology, and not so much older technology, will basically be left behind and be stuck on Windows 10. So it's a way to encourage people to buy new computers and to get this new Windows 11. Now here's something else I think is going to be an issue. Could be an issue. Well, you've probably heard about it, the chip shortage. And I'll be honest, I work at a community college, and we've been ordering a lot of components, like for example, little microprocessors and stuff. And we found that certain items, like certain transistors or certain types of silicon, certain types of like chips, microcontrollers and stuff, were out of stock on sites like DigiKey, Mouser, and all those other ones, and basically on back order for the next 6 months. Yeah, it's that bad. I mean, of course, it's impacted the car industry. A lot of new cars are that's one the thing was neat. The used car market stuff is selling for super high now compared to what it was before, thanks to the chip shortage. Without those microcontrollers and stuff, it's not as easy to make new cars. Well, too bad they can't make cars like they did years ago that didn't require so much on technology. Yes, I'll keep driving my 1996 Jeep Grand Cherokee, thank you. So if there's a chip shortage, isn't it going to be harder for computer manufacturers to make new computers? I mean, we've seen the shortages firsthand with the GPUs and stuff, and mining have a lot to do with that. But we've seen the shortages of components from. I mean, this when you don't have if there's a shortage of components, then how are they going to be able to supply enough new computers to give Windows 11 such a nice boost that it would need? I mean, you think about Windows 10. Windows 10 will pretty much run on anything back to the Vista era. I set up computers with Windows 10 that originally shipped with Windows XP. Yeah. Oh, don't you love it, the stink bugs. They're coming back, guys. Anyways, so yeah, see, Windows 10 would run on, it would run on much lower end stuff. Maybe not so well, but like for example, my grandpa's computer, it wasn't all that spectacular as far as specs goes. It was a single core AMD Athlon 64 CPU, socket 939. I think it's a 3400 plus, with 3 gigs of DDR400 memory, GeForce 6100 graphics, and this regular old hard drive, IDE hard drive. Yeah, that thing was running Windows 10 for quite a few years. I think it was running either 1703 or the one after that. There's so many builds on Windows 10, but now my grandpa didn't do anything really major on it. He played solitaire with it and browsed Facebook on it, but it did the job. And I did upgrade his computer earlier this year. He got to use it. It's last year. Excuse me. I think it was 2020. I did the computer upgrade for him, and he got to use that till he passed this year. And yeah. But anyways, so see, Windows 10, it would run on pretty much anything built in the past 10 to 12 years at least. Maybe not so well, but in many cases it would run fine. But yeah, see, that was the thing. Microsoft was trying to get people on board to Windows 10 because that was their new model, was Windows as a service. And you see, with time Windows 10, as I shown in my other video I posted earlier this year, as Windows 10 evolved, it got to where computers that were running Windows 10, like say 15 and 11, they wouldn't run the new, like for example 20H2 all that well. So, but yeah, see, Windows 11, it's a pretty OS. I'll say that it does look pretty. I'm not really sure what to think about having all the taskbar icons in the center and the start menu in the center. I think the start menu really should be on the left side of your screen. But I mean, to be honest, it is a pretty OS, and I hope to get to experiment with it once I get this house finished up and get moved in here and settled. But so yeah, Windows 11, it's here. It's being released. We'll get to see if it has a good adoption rate, kind of like Windows 10 did. But in a way, Windows 10, as you may remember, there was some controversy over how Windows 10 was pushed. A lot of people, I know there were some cases of Windows 10 stalling on Windows 7 computers despite the user not wanting it. I mean, I think they got sued over it. I think Microsoft actually got sued over it. But yeah, so now we get to see, will Windows 11 take on adoption rate similar to Windows 10 and Windows 7? Or will it take on an adoption rate more similar to, I don't know, Windows Vista? Yeah. Or Windows Vista, yeah, as I sometimes call it. So yeah, if you're watching this YouTube video on your computer, on a mobile device, feel free to visit the comments below and tell me what you think about Windows 11. What are your ideas on it? What do you think it's going to be like? I'm curious to see. Like I said, it'd be fun to watch. Many people are thinking, I'd say the opinions of a lot of people are like, Windows 10 works fine, I don't need a new version of Windows, while some people are like, ooh, Windows 11, it's nice, I need to get it. Well, in the case you decide to get it, you're probably going to buy a new computer or do some upgrading. And good luck with the shortages that have been going on. Like I say, I'm hoping we'll get past the shortages, because it's definitely put a hurting on the enthusiast computer market and the computer repair market as well. But so anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Well, everybody, that's it for this video, but don't forget, there's a lot more interesting stuff on the channel to check out. Also, if this is your first time visiting this channel, feel free to subscribe to Computer Channel, and also don't forget to tick the bell so that way you'll get notified of new video posts. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, but if you really didn't like it, there is the alternative option available as well. Also, feel free to check out my second channel, CubeComp MTDX. There you'll find videos about bicycling, weather, elevator tours, and all sorts of other neat, interesting stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to come back, and thank you for your support.